Overthinking is a result of one of the most complex emotions we have to deal with as humans, and that emotion is fear. Fear cripples. It steals your peace and leaves you down and out, and this is even before anything has happened. Fear, as some have elucidated to mean false evidence appearing real, cripples us by making us worry about something that hasn't even happened yet. Our minds go into overdrive, worrying and fearing something that hasn't even taken place. This drives us into overthinking every minute detail, pondering as to what can go wrong and the many ways that it can go wrong if it does go wrong. So, here today, we're going to discuss 5 ways or 5 tips and tricks that you can apply into your daily life to avoid overthinking and reclaim your peace of mind and over your life in general. For the best strategies and tips on finally living the life of your dreams with the least resistance through making the right tweaks to your mindset and daily habits, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get my latest uploads every week. So let's start with number 1. Live one day at a time. We have the tendency to think and plan about the future so much that we forget that the present is still happening, right? And most of the time, okay, what's going on with him? Okay, clear, cancel, delete. Most of the time, it is the present that is predicated upon the future. So you're kind of creating your future based on the present decisions and actions that you're doing in the present moment, in the now. Okay. So by relegating taking care of ourselves now and worrying about the future, we mess it all up before it even happens, before it even manifests. It's kind of like what Ifa speaks about Elinini, creating self-created demons or hexing yourself with your words. And we see that phenomena through the energy of the Odus of Ikamehi, the controller, and Oturamehi, the comforter and disruptor, right? We don't want to have Lucy Progreso, self-fulfilling prophecies happening through our mindset and through our actions and our words. Okay? You need to understand that tomorrow is a gift that none of us are promised. So you need to make the most of the time that you have today in the now. Going into overdrive thinking about the future doesn't in any way secure it because the things that will happen tomorrow cannot be controlled. So, to avoid overthinking, take each day as it comes, see the gifts in what you already have, and trust that things will work out eventually in the end. Number 2, act on your worries. Overthinking also happens when it comes to relationship dynamics. We worry about what the other person is thinking, and we stress ourselves trying to figure out a way either to make things right or just to know where their mind is at. The best way to know anything or to bring light into a situation where you feel there's quote unquote off darkness, we don't want to just assume, is to actually find out, right? And the Odu Ikamehi, the controller speaks about that. To bring light into a situation, you would do that through your words, choosing them carefully and not coming from Lucy Progreso, an emotional space, right? Ika Mehi suggests that you think before you speak and react, right? So you don't um, burn bridges that weren't necessarily needed to burn in the first place, right? We don't want to be reacting rashly. Okay. So communication will inform you if there is anything to worry about at all. So find out from the person how they feel and then take things from there. Overthinking is crippling. Most of us just take in the suffering without actually taking actions on the things that are putting our minds into overdrive. So make that call to get that clarification. Send that email, text, do whatever you can to try and set your mind at ease instead of stewing over things and getting real clarity and understanding that dynamic and how that person is thinking. Because most of the time they're like, no, I don't know. Why would you be thinking that? Or no, why would you assume that? So use your words wisely and to bring clarity, take the lead, right? Number three, focus on what you can control. So ikameji is big, mehi is big um, within this topic today. So bear with me as I share bits and pieces of the knowledge of Ifa with you to help you navigate through life in certain situations that can arise when this happens. Okay? If there's anything that always reminds us that we are not in control in a situation, is where our peace of mind is dependent on someone else. When you overthink, sometimes nothing can be done about the situation, and this eats away at us further because Ifa also speaks about if you don't get a response or you don't get an answer to your question, you have to be in a place to accept that that answer is not available to you at all or at that specific moment. Okay. So, as difficult as it is, you have to focus on what you can control. You can control your actions and what happens around you. Focus on those things that bring you peace and stillness. In some situations, no matter how much we mull over them, you have to leave it up to the divine. Rather, focus on those things that you can control, like yourself, your thinking, the way you speak, think, and act, right? Number four, face your fears. As mentioned earlier, overthinking is fueled by your fears. For as long as you don't deal with your fears, they will drive you up a wall. They'll drive you mad. They will if you're not careful. Most people have the fear of abandonment. Thus, they refuse to face the other person, fearing that they will be abandoned. Overthinking will kick in, robbing them of their joy and peace. And no matter how much they overthink, the solution can only be found once they confront that said fear. Ignoring your fears or brushing them off will not bring you peace. The issue can lie dormant for a while, but when something comes up, a situation comes up and triggers you, you're right back where you started. So, the best way to avoid overthinking is to deal with your fears before they deal with you. Number five, find ways to unwind. Overthinking devastatingly affects our mental health. That's the main thing it hits first. It can make you question your decisions and you can forget who you are at the core. It's important to find ways to remind yourself of who you are so that overthinking doesn't become your identity. People have different ways to unwind and remind themselves of who they are or return to a state of homeostasis, of balance. For example, things like reading scriptures, meditating, going to the gym, speaking affirmations, dancing and listening to music, yoga, or any other similar activities. It's really up to you. There is no way that is better than the other. Just pick one that will bring you back to a state of balance and peace and helps you to remind yourself of who you are so that you can think clearly and make sound decisions that you'll be proud of and that will be best tailored to your set goal when it comes to your lifestyle, etc., and Lucy Progreso in every other area of your life and how you've envisioned it, right? So, here are some of the main takeaways on today's topic. Number one, take things one day at a time. Your life isn't a race, and you were not created to compete or live up to the expectations of others' opinions. So, take the time to reacquaint yourself with yourself, to find your own individual rhythm and flow. Okay? Number two, act on your worries. Take the lead to reestablish your peace of mind by gaining clarity via reaching out or finding the the validity, there we go, of what's weighing heavy on your mind. Number three, focus on what you can control. When you think about it, nothing is truly guaranteed. Any good thing, or what we perceive as to be a good thing, right, can end in a split second. With that being said, you can have total control over what? Yourself. Ifa says in Obara Mehi, those who can control their emotions become gods on earth. And that's with a small g, not a big G. Okay? Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. And I cannot stress that enough because and Baba Ejiokbe, it states, and he is the supporter who sits at the east, the rising sun, speaks of it is the head that carries the body. So don't lose your head. Okay? Overthinking can lead to more serious conditions and complications such as anxiety, panic attacks, and even worse, depression at many stages. Okay? Thus, nipping overthinking in the bud, choosing the way of peace, can improve your overall lifestyle. The solutions suggested here are by no means comprehensive and they're not easy to do. But anything worthwhile in life takes some kind of effort on your part and to be consistent with it, no matter if we have little setbacks and we fall off the wheel a little bit. Okay? So when you put the effort into your mental wellness, you're guaranteed to leave or lead, not leave, to lead a peaceful life. Okay? This does not mean that you won't face challenges because that's how we grow. Ifa says when spiritual practitioner in Ifa spirituality um, reads with Ifa, calls down an Odu, and most Odus that sit in the direction of north, it says, Ifa says that we grow and evolve through pain because complacency and being in a state of comfort, it brings out the energy of stagnancy and complacency. So we learn our best lessons, Lucy Progreso, through pain and challenges and adversity. Okay? So it doesn't mean, again, that you will not face challenges, but that you will not be defeated by them because you know how to avoid the trap of overthinking through clear thinking. So, in a present situation or in a current situation, it is best to be practical, to use common sense, right? And to take your time to look at a pros and cons of making certain decisions and spitting out the results by doing what's best for you in that moment, backed up by your core values, right? And if you need any help, to seek a professional or someone who is experienced in that type of situation to help guide you through. Okay? So now that you've gotten some new tools under your belt, I pray and hope that you're ready to apply what you just learned. You can download your free accompanying workbook about this topic slash ebook below in the description box. If you need more help, you know where to find me. I'm at themoralcompass.com where I'll provide more tips and tricks to help you on your personal journey. Also, if you're new here, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you a part of the family, and I'll catch you in the next video. Stay blessed.